The living room in a quiet suburban home outside Columbus, Ohio was full, yet painfully silent. The walls were lined with framed family photos, birthdays, graduations, Christmas mornings, moments frozen in time when everyone believed they were happy. Emily Carter sat on the couch, her hands folded tightly in her lap. Her fingers trembled, but her face stayed calm. She had learned how to look calm over the years. Across from her sat her husband of 12 years, Michael Carter, stiff-backed, jaw clenched, eyes fixed on the floor. Next to him was his longtime friend, Jason Miller, trying too hard to look relaxed. His knee bounced uncontrollably. Standing near the fireplace was Linda Perez, Emily's lawyer, a composed woman in her mid-40s, holding a phone in her hand. Behind them, Emily's parents, Michael's sister, and a few close family members filled the room. No one spoke. Linda cleared her throat. "Before we proceed," she said gently, "there's one piece of evidence everyone needs to hear." Michael looked up sharply. "What evidence?" Emily finally raised her eyes. "The truth," she said quietly. How it all looked perfect. From the outside, the Carters had the kind of life people admired. Michael was a project manager at a construction firm, steady income, respected job. Emily had stepped back from her marketing career to raise their two children, Sophie, 10, and Ethan, 7. She volunteered at school, packed lunches with handwritten notes, and smiled through neighborhood barbecues. Jason Miller had been part of their lives since college. He was Uncle Jason to the kids, the guy who helped Michael fix the car and stayed late after dinner to talk sports. Everyone trusted him. Everyone, except Emily. It didn't start with suspicion. It started with exhaustion. Emily felt something shift long before she could explain it. Michael was present, but distant. Jason texted more than before. Conversation stopped when she entered the room. And then there were the small things, looks exchanged, laughter that ended too quickly. Still, Emily told herself she was imagining it. Until one night, everything cracked. The message that wasn't meant for her. Michael had left his phone on the kitchen counter while taking a shower. Emily wasn't snooping. She was wiping crumbs when the screen lit up. New voice message, Jason. Emily almost ignored it. Almost. Something in her chest tightened. She pressed play. At first, there was silence. Then Jason's voice, low, familiar, careless. "I swear, man, if Emily ever finds out how much you covered for me that night, we're both done. She thinks you were working late, but you were with me, and she still has no idea why you lied for me. Sometimes I feel guilty, but then I remember, it was the only way to protect her from the truth." Emily's breath caught. The message continued. "Your wife deserves better than what she's getting from both of us, but once this divorce thing starts, she'll never know what really happened. Delete this after you hear it." The phone slipped from her hand and hit the counter with a dull thud. Emily didn't cry. She didn't scream. She stood there, shaking, as 12 years of trust collapsed in seconds. Silence before the storm. Michael came out of the shower smiling, towel around his neck. "You okay?" he asked. Emily nodded. "I'm fine." She didn't confront him that night. Or the next day. Or the next week. Instead, she listened. She watched. She saved messages. She spoke to a lawyer. And slowly, painfully, she understood the full picture. Michael had lied, not just once, but for years. He had covered for Jason during an incident that involved money, infidelity, and a betrayal that could have destroyed multiple families. Michael hadn't been cheating, but he had chosen loyalty to his friend over honesty with his wife. Over and over again. The betrayal wasn't loud. It was quiet. Calculated. Ongoing. And that hurt more than any affair ever could. The day the truth was played. Now, all of them sat together in that living room. Linda looked at Emily. "Are you ready?" Emily took a deep breath. "Yes." Linda tapped the phone. Jason's voice filled the room. The same voice message. Every word. Every pause. Michael's face drained of color. Emily's mother covered her mouth. Michael's sister whispered, "Oh my God." Jason stood up abruptly. "That's out of context." "Sit down," Linda said firmly. The message ended. Silence crashed down like thunder. Michael finally spoke, his voice breaking. "Emily. I can explain." Emily looked at him, not with anger, but with a deep, aching sadness. "No," she said. "You've explained enough, by staying silent all these years." She turned to Jason. "You were my children's uncle. You sat at my table. You looked me in the eyes." Jason couldn't meet her gaze. Consequences no one expected. The legal process moved forward. Michael lost more than his marriage. His reputation at work suffered when the truth about the financial cover-up came out. Jason faced legal consequences of his own. The friendship that once defined their lives ended in disgrace. But the hardest part wasn't the court papers. It was the kids. Emily sat with Sophie and Ethan one evening, holding them close. "Is Dad leaving because of us?" Ethan asked. Emily swallowed her tears. "No, sweetheart. This has nothing to do with you. Sometimes adults make choices, and those choices have consequences." Michael remained in their lives as a father, but never again as Emily's protector. That role, she learned, belonged to herself. Rebuilding from ashes. The months that followed were not easy. Emily went back to work. She cried in her car. She doubted herself. She wondered how she missed the signs. But slowly, strength returned. She stopped asking why and started focusing on what's next. She built a life grounded in honesty. She taught her children that truth matters, even when it's uncomfortable. 1 year later, Emily stood in a smaller, brighter home. Family photos lined the walls again, new ones. Real ones. Her mother hugged her. "You're stronger than you know." Emily smiled softly. "I didn't choose this strength. But I chose what to do with it." The message that changed everything. That voice message was never meant for her. But it became the moment she reclaimed her life. And if there's one lesson in this story, it's this. The truth always finds its way out. And when it does, it doesn't destroy the honest, it frees them. If this story touched you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel.